Vacations are fun, and everybody seems to like them. Everybody seems to like to escape the reality that they live on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of people think that a vacation is a symbol of status. A lot of people use these opportunities to present themselves and their lives in a certain way, as if they are a certain type of person and they are living a certain type of life. And to those who enjoy taking vacations, I say, go ahead. Take your vacations. Have fun. And go ahead and show us who you really are.
A lot of people that I've been seeing recently, especially women, I'm not going to just harp on women here, but it's more prevalent in their demographic. They've been on a world tour. A world fucking tour. At 20, let's just say 24, 25, they're going on a world tour. No care in the world of job security. Who knows if family's that big to them, or starting their own family. I don't want to go out the window and say family's not important to them, but starting their own may be something that they're putting on the back burner, because why? They want to have fun now. They want to travel the world now, because in their minds, if not now, then when? A lot of people have a different perspective when it comes to life, especially the younger people. And as you progress in age, it starts to reverse or do a 180, right? So you'd be able to tell me, what's the type of vision where you can't see far away? Is that you're nearsighted or farsighted?
Nearsighted.
Okay.
It's always inverted.
Got you. So a lot of people our age have the ability to only see very close. They're nearsighted. They only think about what's happening right now, what's happening in the immediate future, because I want to have fun right now. I want to enjoy myself right now. But what they don't realize, and what they should realize, is because we've already experienced it on a small scale, and it only gets increasingly worse as you get older. And that is the long-term effects of your immediate decisions, right? We all know those people that we went to middle school with, that we went to high school with, that could have been the cool guys or cool girls in school at that point. Now that we're adults, they could be working at insert fast food establishment there or here. Again, I'm not going to say one just to, shit on y'all who might be doing that. I'm not trying to shit on y'all, but those are the long-term effects of your short-term actions and not really thinking about the long-term of things and not being able to see things further out than just fucking a year, right? So these people, these women, whoever, going on a world tour right now, enjoying themselves, thinking that life is only going to be from their 20s to their 30s. Okay, you're living life for the right now. That's fine. You may not make it to 30. That's right. We don't know. But say you do. And I believe a lot of us, if not most of us, will. Say you do. And say you live till 60. You're 70. You're telling me that you sacrificed the majority of your life for 5 years, if that, of fun and vacation? Is that 5 years, or again, if that, of fun and vacation worth a shit rest of your life? The 50 years left that you have in your life, is that worth that? Ask yourself that. A lot of people don't. And that's what has a lot of people in trouble, in my opinion.
I think that that train of thought can be summarized with one word, and that word is responsibility. I think the sense of responsibility for not not just oneself, but one's surrounding community, whether it be your friends, your family, or even your ancestors. Your last name is largely gone. It's live now in the moment, not the responsibility that requires you to be present in the moment and make a proper and sober decision. There's a quote in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, which is one of my favorite quotes personally, where he's talking about how he wants to go on vacation in the rural parts of Italy. He wants to escape the turmoil in the local surroundings that he's in. He wants to escape the war. He wants to escape the famine. He wants to escape the political unrest. But he mentions you cannot remove your mind. You can change your environment, but you cannot shut off your mind. No matter where you are, your problems will follow you, especially those that are up here. And the quote that he has, finalizing that, is people look for retreats for themselves in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. There is nowhere that a person can find a more peaceful and trouble-free retreat than in his own mind. So constantly give yourself this retreat and renew yourself. Marcus Aurelius urges us to reflect and find a way to seek solace within ourselves rather than looking for external ways to find peace and external ways to remediate our situations. A lot of times people will tend to put a Band-Aid or attempt to put a Band-Aid on a wound as opposed to addressing the cause of the wound. And I think you have something very, very well written here that I would like you to speak on with regards to this.
Right. So it's the difference between drugs and medicine. And of course, there's always going to be the people in the comments who are going to be like, oh, they're the same thing. Just shut up and listen to my fucking analogy here. So drugs versus medicine, right? For most young people nowadays, because of music, because of movies, propaganda, whatever, it's cool, it's fun to take some drugs. Definitely not saying that you should. We definitely think that you shouldn't. But in some popular, kid-like fucking groups, it's cool to take drugs. It's fun, right? But it's not fun to take medicine, to take those big fucking horse pills or, the medicine that tastes like fucking, I don't know what.
The horrible fruit flavor medicine.
Exactly. Shit that people don't like generally, right? People don't like to take that. But here's the thing. When you take that drug, those drugs that may be artificially made and produced by some guy in the back of his house that doesn't know much of shit about science, those could have very harmful long-term effects. It's cool in the moment, but it could get you addicted, or it could really mess with your mind, mess with your body. It could even K-word you. Don't know if we could say that, but it could delete you. It could delete you, right? But when it comes to the medicine, in the short term, it may taste bad. It may be hard to swallow, pause, and it may be something that you not like in the moment, but it could literally cure you of your fucking ailments in the long term and be able to have you not have to worry about that particular sickness or illness that you're going through for the rest of your life. All because you took that medicine that you didn't like early on, right? So that's what most people are missing nowadays. They're all about the drugs, but they're not about the medicine. They'd rather take the drugs and have fun and have a good time for a short time instead of taking the medicine and be good for the long term. It's like, when people say, I'm only here for a good time, not a long time. That's literally how people live their fucking lives. But they don't realize, dumbass, that you could be here for a long time. Especially if you want to be here, you could be here for a long time. So what happens when that good time runs out quicker than what you thought? what happens? And you mentioned legacy, and I wanted to touch on this because this is something that applies to both of us. So people also have to understand the importance and power of legacy, right? So I think grandparents understand this better than most because of their age and also because of the legacy that they began. They have grandchildren, they have children, right? So when our grandparents individually, of course, passed away, they both were able not only to pass down knowledge and good times that we experienced with them, they were able to pass down actual property or money or things like that to their kids or to their grandparents that they were able to use and hopefully may be able to use for themselves and could be able to use for their children, their children's children, right? Passing shit down, understanding that life is more than just the short term. Were they taking a shit ton of vacations? If they're rich and wealthy enough, maybe they were. But for our grandparents, they weren't. But they realized, and of course there were some here and there because they like to have their kids or let their kids have the experiences of certain things. But was it as much as other people? Maybe not. Why? Because they understood the importance of setting a foundation and letting that foundation grow to the point where it could provide shade and safety for their kids and their kids' kids after that. And being able to speak from a perspective of a grandchild and benefiting from something that my grandpa or grandma did fucking 50, 60 years ago goes to show you the importance of not only thinking about the right now, but thinking about the long term. And while you're on your vacation, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how good the fucking sand on the beach feels, right? But why not think about how good the sand on the beach will feel for your grandkids? Do you want them to experience that same thing? If you do, you have to think further than just the right here and right now. You have to think about tomorrow, next week, fucking next month, next year, a decade from fucking now. Because if you're blessed enough to fucking make it to that point, life is going to be very different and your responsibilities are going to be very different. And it would behoove you to plan for those things ahead of time. That way, when life happens, you are okay, your children are okay, and maybe even your grandchildren are okay. All because you planned ahead and weren't just focused on taking your vacations and enjoy the fucking time on the beach and time in fucking Spain or some shit right now.
That's all of the sayings that go, good times don't last and neither do bad times. And I think, at least personally, that's what helps me in difficult situations, because I can remind myself that this isn't here to stay. It's only passing like a cloud. There's a reason for the season. In the same way that you prepare yourself for difficult times when you're in a good time, because you know, hey, this is not going to last. This is going to run out. So when you're working towards a goal, you need to understand that, hey, I'm not going to be struggling forever. And not only that, whatever return I get for succeeding or failing is also not going to last forever. It's not like you win the lottery and you're set for life. You need to win the lottery every single day. You need to make every day better than the last day, because the last day's rent is not going to pay for the next day's rent in all scenarios. It might for a little bit, but it won't forever last. That's why multi-generational wealth doesn't generally last past 2 or 3 generations, because it's gone. But that's a discussion for another time. I have one thing that I really want to say about taking vacations, and this is addressed to certain people who like to take vacations. And to you, I say, go ahead and take your vacations. Live your life. Enjoy it right now. Because I'm telling you one thing. That life that you're living is not actually your life. You think that you're hot shit. You think that you're in Ibiza, that you're in Dubai, that you're visiting the Burj Khalifa. Notice how I said visiting, not residing in. You're in Greece. You're smoking cigars. You're having fun, right? You got all the social media posts and everybody's thinking, man, who is this person? They are traveling the world. He is him or she is her. But you're only posing because that's not your life. Because if that was your life, you wouldn't be taking vacations right now. That would be your reality in the future. Those trips, those luxurious stays, all of those events would be daily occurrences for you if you were who you said you were, and if you are taking the steps to be there. But since you're only there posing for other people or to give yourself a sense of self-worth as if you've accomplished something in your life and your meaningless existence is somehow meaningful, go ahead. Enjoy your vacations, because that's really the only part of your life that you will ever enjoy. And that's your choice. Not ours, not mine, not Austin's, not the cockroaches, but yours.
And you alluded to this before, but I like to add and kind of press on the gas here. Take your vacations like Jose said, but remember those who aren't taking their vacations. Actually, fuck it. You don't even have to remember them. Just think about those people who aren't taking their vacations. What are they doing? If by a small chance that they're working and continuing to work while you're on vacation, even when you're off of vacation, they have put in 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, however many times the work that you have, which means that when the rubber has to meet the road and it's time for one person to succeed versus the other, who's more likely to succeed? Who's more likely to get the things in life that they want besides that one vacation? Because, and we've experienced this living here, there's a difference between the people that visit a place and then the people that actually stay in the place. And I'll let you figure that out.
Now, don't let us deter you from actually taking a break, because I think that there is a point in time to recharge.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've talked about it in the past, but I'm curious, Austin, when do you know that it's acceptable to take a vacation or to recharge?
Have you done shit? A lot of people are taking vacations with their to-do list untouched, with the things they said that they wanted to do, the things that they told people that they wanted to do, the things that they told potential loved ones and lovers that they wanted to do. They haven't done them still. The success that they said that they wanted for themselves hasn't even been touched yet. And they're taking vacations. If you have so much fucking free time and you still haven't done the shit that you said that you were going to do, haven't improved nothing, and you're taking vacations, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm going to just tell you that right now. However, if you've really put in the work, you've accomplished the things that you said that you were going to, and maybe even surpassed your expectations. By then, you check the things off your list. You could take a little vacation. You've earned it. You've put in the fucking work. You've put in the hours. You've accomplished the thing that you set out to do. You can take a vacation. But if you're just taking a vacation for fuck's sake just to post it on Instagram, still knowing that you have bills to pay, children to take care of, goals to reach, that vacation is going to be the highlight of your fucking life for the rest of your life. And if by God's grace that it's a long one, that's going to be a very depressing life. If you have to look back in 50 years and say, hey, my best time that I experienced in life was that one vacation that I took, and then after that, that was it. That's That was the highlight of my life. And then after that, it was downhill. Why? Because I was so focused on vacations that I wasn't thinking about what is actually important in life. Living life. Fucking working hard to accomplish something. Being able to provide for myself, my family, and my kids. My kids, right? So if you haven't thought about vacations in that sense, then you might be doing yourself a disservice.
Vacations are such a distraction. They take your focus away from reality, and they make your painful existence or painful circumstances bearable for a brief moment. You only run away, quite literally, from the pain that you're enduring. Mm-hmm. And when you come back to that reality, it hits you twice as hard. I don't see the benefit. I really don't. And not only that, especially for couples, it's dangerous because it makes you feel like you have a false sense of love, like everything is okay. Somehow you are putting aside the problems that you have. Don't get me wrong. Having sex on the beach is amazing, but that's dangerous because now you're thinking that everything's fine, everything's okay. You're sweeping the dust under the rug, as they say. When things aren't resolved, and when they don't get resolved, they're building. You're building and building and building pressure until they eventually explode. And when something blows up in your face, it's not going to be pretty. Why delay the inevitable? Why prevent and why reserve yourself from enduring and addressing what needs to be addressed? You said this on episode 132. Why the fuck are you worrying? Worrying is going to do you no good. If a meteor is about to hit us and you're worried about it, that's not going to stop the meteor from coming. So why even bother? It's the same thing. Alex Hormozi says that anxiety is brought about because there's actions that need to be taken that you're not taking. Because you know you need to be doing things, but you're not doing them. And that's the reason that you're anxious. Because the cure for anxiety is action. And then you get a AA rating.
And to end here, I don't want to keep this going too long, but you talked about vacations are really escape from reality. But why don't you all, each of you, make your reality a vacation instead of making a vacation your reality? And in my opinion, you do that by putting in, of course, a unbelievable amount of work to where every day that you wake up feels like a vacation because you've put yourself in a position to where the things that you want, you can get. The places you want to go, you can go. However, most people view it as the temporary option, right? One is temporary. It's a temporary escape from your reality. And the other is a lifelong gift. So instead of trying to escape your sucky reality, which you set up for yourself, build a better reality for yourself.
What was the quote? Live a lifelong gift. Mm-hmm. Go and live a lifelong gift.
There you go.
The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check. The AM Club Podcast.